Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Lisa's Love and Light. Thank you all for being here today. It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday, everybody. And thank you all who showed up yesterday for that video I did. I did a part one and part two about the passing of my mother on April 15th, 2020. And I wanted to do a remembrance about her. It's just been hard, guys, but one day at a time. Like I said, I have my issues with grief as well, but I don't stay there. I allow myself to feel the pain and then I move on from it. Which is not easy to do. So I hope you guys are having a good day. I hope these messages are resonating with you and it's helping you with your own circumstances and situations. Also, keep in mind, I'm not a therapist, social worker, or a counselor. I'm someone who's gone through a lot of heavy grief challenges and the most and the worst. Um, and prayer, God, and just moving forward has helped me tremendously. So, with that being said, guys, the topic of discussion today is healing and setting boundaries. When you decide to heal, set boundaries. Before we get into that, because something I want to say to you guys. Also, make sure that when you're out there driving, that you have all the credentials that you need, because we're living in uncertain times right now, and you guys see what's going on in the world, you know. So make sure you have all your paperwork, whatever you need, your driver's license, all of your IDs are updated. You can prove, with your birth certificate and everything, go as way back as you can, because there's a lot of things that's happening right now. And we see, the injustices that's occurring in this world right now, you know. So just make sure you have everything update and nothing is expired. Keep everything the way it should be. The more you do this, the less problems you should have. So now, with that being said, let's get into this topic of discussion: healing and setting boundaries. Healing pain and grief, guys, it can be a challenge because you have your up days where you feel really great and yes, let's do this. And then you have those gloomy days. And it's the gloomy days that are more of a challenge for me, but I keep moving. Like I'm a Virgo, and sometimes I want to plan out how this should be and that should be, and et cetera, and so forth. Um, and that can lead to procrastination. So, what I've been doing is just getting up and getting stuff done. Um, excuse me, guys, no matter, how it should be or structured, I just get it done because that's so important. Because otherwise, one day of not doing anything can lead to two, three, and four. And so it's important that even if one day goes by and we don't get anything done, get right back up the next day and keep going. It's like a weeble wobble, but they don't fall down. Don't allow anyone to stop your progress. It doesn't matter how they feel, what they're talking about. All that stuff is noise. Because when you know your mental health and your physical health has been traumatized by grief, by pain, unnecessary pain caused by other folks, unjustifiable things that have been done with you without a justifiable cause, you bite, crawl, and fight through it. Excuse me, guys. You just keep going. You don't allow anyone or anything to make you stop or give up on yourself. I'm drinking some tea here. My voice is a little, it's been one of those days. But never give up on your mental and physical health. Never allow anyone to talk you into getting off this journey to heal. Never allow anyone to tell you you're not supposed to love yourself. That's craziness to me. You're not supposed to heal, evolve, and elevate. We all are supposed to do that. We can do that. It's not easy. It's a lot of work, but we can do it. And I do it with the help of God. Like I said, everything around my life is about God. It doesn't matter about what anybody else says, because if you tune in to the noise, then you would never stay focused on your healing, because you're always worried about what somebody else is saying or doing, like I used to be. And as I started to heal those things within me by looking at myself within to find out why I was doing this, and as I did that through therapy, I realized that I was being a doormat to people, and that's never okay. So I had to choose myself, and people can say whatever they want about that, but choose yourself, especially when you are trying to heal. Set boundaries with other folks. It's so important to do that, because when you set those boundaries, it allows you to stay focused on your mental and physical health, and then as you continue to move forward and keep going and going, no matter what it looks like, you don't we don't all these things don't come with an instruction book, so we have to be creative with it as we start this journey. And one of the things that's so important is getting connected with a grief therapist. Find one that you can connect with and just start doing the work slowly. And as you continue to move forward, you will find creative ways to do this. Make sure music is a healing force. I always have some music going, as you guys hear in the background on the phone. Just peace. Inner peace is so important, people, because everything, when I was out there earlier and I was at work, and I'm on the road driving and people just arguing about nonsense, just engaging in toxicity, who's going to veer over to the right lane and whatever it is. And I'm thinking about people who no longer have their parents, who've lost their spouse, who've lost so much, and people are arguing over insignificant things. It's so much toxicity going on right now, and you have to guard yourself from it, because it can really, really take a toll on your mental and physical health. And without your mental and physical health, you can't help yourself or anyone else, and it's not you, you know, um, being in love with yourself or narcissistic or any of that. It's you taking care of yourself, knowing that you need to put yourself first so that you can heal. And that's why it's important to set those boundaries. And sometimes people are not going to like boundaries, especially if you didn't have any before and they would just come in and going whenever they felt like it and you were allowing it. But now, as you see that you need to take care of yourself, it's important to set those boundaries. And if people want to leave your life because of it, what I do is let them, because it's showing me they have no respect for me and they have no respect for the fact that I have to take care of myself. We all are supposed to love ourselves. How can you give love to anyone or anything else if you don't love yourself, if you don't take care of yourself? Because that means that you're not in shape or for anything else. You can't take care of anything else if you don't take care of yourself, and never allow anyone to talk you out of that. They're going to make noise. It's just like because they're so used to getting what they want from you and coming and going and whatever. But now when you create and develop those boundaries, you're saying, hey, I'm over here. I need to heal. I need to take care of myself. So I don't have time for you today. And sometimes people feel that some kind of way about that, especially sometimes if it's family. Well, I'm your this, I'm your that. We're related by this and that. Sorry, but right now I need time for me. And don't feel bad about it. At first, I used to, but as I started to realize how much that I needed to heal and I needed a time out, and that's something I should be doing for myself. I just less and less. I just tune out the noise, continue to focus on yourself, and utilize the sources available to you, the support system and therapy. Not only is there grief therapy, but grief support groups where you hear stories about other people's grief and pain, and they may even tell you some tidbits on how they're getting through it. Surround yourself with people who understand you, because those who don't understand you, might try to give you a lot of problems, etc. That's why I said set boundaries, and just surround yourself with peace. People who are on the same um, journey as you are to heal their grief and pain. And then close the door or minimize the toxicity in your life as much as you can. Do not allow, you can allow yourself to feel pain, for yourself to stay there. Don't allow yourself to stay in a place of pain. Continue to move forward. Um, so that you don't get stuck there, because that pain can turn into depression, despair, and we don't want anything like that to happen. So, yes, let yourself feel it because it's an outlet for the pain, and then keep moving. Therapy, where you talk about situations, that's also another outlet. I like going to the gym and, listening to music, being out in nature when it's warm. The weather's about to change for the better. Be out in nature and do things that uplift your spirit, and leave the toxicity behind you. Um, a broken mental health can lead to anxiety, grief, depression, and despair. So know when you need to take care of yourself, because you know your body. You know when things feel like they're falling apart, but don't allow it to. So keep going and stay focused, and one day at a time. Make sure that you are getting enough rest, you're eating well, and that you are taking time out on a daily basis for yourself, whether it's an hour or two, to do something uplifting for you. That's so important, especially in this world that we live in today. Guys, please know that you are worth it. Never allow anyone to tell you that you're not worth it. Look in the mirror every day and tell yourself, I am just as good as the next person. I am worth it. And self love, because self love leads to self care. Self care leads to healing. And as you self care, self love, you start to take care of yourself more. And as you take care of yourself more, you feel better. You feel better, you do better. And then you can be a testimony to somebody else to help them who may be currently going through what you already went through. I like to pay it forward. I've made vows to God to do that, as well as some other vows, and I just keep going. Know that you're human. You're going to have those rough days, but you're going to have those good days. And the self-love, the self-care eventually leads to inner peace. And when you are at a place of inner peace, you don't hear that noise around you anymore. Be in a place of prayer as well, because I stay in prayer, prayed up, asking God, to help. And as I take those steps, guys, I can tell you that how many times I just took a baby step and God did 2, 3, and 4 steps. Something I had to do today, which I like, okay, let me make the effort, because the old version of myself would say, no, I would keep putting it off. But I did, and it turned out better than what I expected. And I didn't have to put that much effort. All I had to do, like when I pray to God, I ask him as I take a step in those direction, for him to please take a step. And he's been taking 2, 3, and 4 on my behalf. And it's just been really good, because I can't do this without God, guys. Um, you know, Connect with God, ask him to help you. And as you do things and move forward, he will help you. One day at a time, one step at a time. Nothing ventured is nothing gained, and don't allow others to, as you build your foundation, you build yourself up and you start to feel better and do better. Don't allow the toxicity to creep back in. What made you feel broken? Anyone or any situation that almost broke you or made you feel broken? Now that you're building yourself up and you're feeling better and doing better, don't allow that situation to creep back in, because all the hard work you've done on yourself and the things you did to build yourself up can be broken down again if you allow the toxicity back in your space. Always keep that in mind and set these boundaries, because it's going to help you to be the best version of yourself that you can be. Guys, that's the message today. Keep moving, keep going. And I can't promise you a time tomorrow, but I will be back tomorrow to uplift you, encourage you, and let's keep this going. Invite others to the channel, subscribe, comment, and tell me what you want to hear if it's something particular, and I will talk about it here. But let's keep going and never give up on yourself. That's the message today, guys. Have a good evening. And this is Lisa shedding love and light, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye for now.